Good evening. Welcome to the Concentric Home Solution Woodworking Show. My name is Michael Senemi. If you happen to like this presentation, I would like you to leave a like and a comment and subscribe. In this video this evening, I will be discussing the products that I use to get my CNC machine into my garage once it was delivered. I never did actually explain how I did that. And a gentleman reached out and wanted to know, a gentleman who's looking to buy the machine himself wanted to know what was my process to getting the machine into the shop. And in this video, I intend to explain that. So here we go. Is anyone on yet? I don't think anyone is on yet, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Or I'll just continue. If the gentleman missed it, he can catch it on the replay. Anyway, starting with these Pro lifts. You can see these Pro lifts. It's very simple mechanical device. Is made up of two parts, and you purchase them in a pair. The ones I have will carry a load of 2 tons per pair. The machine I ordered, pull it out here to show you guys. The machine I ordered is a 3x4 machine with a recoil lathe on the side of the machine. It has a shipping weight of 1,300 pounds, a little over 1,300 pounds, but the actual weight of the machine is about 850. Okay, I'm showing you that so that you can see these are more than capable of taking the weight of the machine. Now, what's not on here, you're not going to see in the presentation, is going to be a car jack. I got a very good car jack that allowed me, once I uncrate the machine, to lift the machine up on one end to get 2 of these underneath the machine. And I had the help of a friend too, by the way. Although I have moved the machine by myself before, I don't recommend it. It's good to have somebody there to help you. So once we jacked it up, I got this pair on the one side, and then moved over to the other side, jacked it up, and got the other pair underneath it. Once up, and if the gentleman is watching the video right now, I want him to understand he have to verify this for himself, because as he may know himself, and as I experience, there's a little bit of inconsistency dealing with CamMaster. But my machine, the holes underneath is 3/4 thread. So ask them, make sure that it's 3/4 thread. I got these 3-inch wheels, and it's not in the description now, but I will put it in the description, the information for the place that I got it from. I got 4 of these, and once again, these are oversized as far as the specs for it. It's more than what is required to carry the machine. I got 4 of these, so you got the machine up on these. You thread these into those holes that CamMaster gave you with the threads. Using the same car jack, I bring each side down. I first jack it back up again and remove one side. So now you have one side down on the wheels. With the wheels, I want you to notice too, you want to have these locked so it's not moving around on you. And I went to the other side, lifted up a little bit, remove the other set of jacks, again with the wheels lock. And then now you're up on wheels. So you go ahead, you disengage the wheels. And now this almost 1,000-pound machine is mobile. You can push it around. So you get it into place, and you did the reverse of everything I just described, because you don't want to leave it on the wheels. Some people do, but I agree with, just from my experience with using the machine. And I'm not saying I have, years of experience, but just with the cutting I've done in the machine, it's probably not a good idea to have it on wheels. Because when that thing is slinging around doing its work, it introduces a lot of like vibration, and you want it dampened. If you put it on this, I think there's a good chance that this may move around. But that's my opinion. Now, once you jack it back up again, you can remove the wheels if you choose to. I recommend that you remove the wheels. I remove the wheels, and in the place of the wheels, I put these in. These studs. These are padded feet. In my opinion, the machine should have came with those. Why it doesn't come with those? Why is just a bare flat piece of metal sitting on concrete so it could rust? Because I know they're supposed to be a 6 mil. For my construction background, they're supposed to be a 6 mil vapor barrier underneath the concrete. But you know what? That's only for the interior of the house. Your machine is in the garage. I don't think you do that in the garage. I may be wrong about that, but I don't think it's required in the garage. But regardless, my point is, concrete is like a sponge. Okay, you can have moisture coming up through that concrete floor. I don't like the idea of bare steel resting on concrete. So I went out and I got these threaded feet that has rubber pads on the bottom, one, and two, it has a 15-degree tilt in any direction. So as far as free motion, you have a total of 30 degrees from left to right or front to back. The reason why that is important, a garage is not a level surface, and there's good sound reason for that. A garage has a car in it, so they design it in a way kind of like your driveway, so to shed water. If you was to get water in the garage, it sheds water away from the building. So that's the reason why your garage is not level. And these pads with a little bit of swivel and the amount of adjustment you have, you can make up for that unevenness in your garage. So I got those in. And just like everything else you see here, those are more. In other words, you could put those feet on a larger machine, on a 4x8 machine, and it can handle it. So it's more than enough for a 4x4 or 3x4 machine. It's a habit of mine. I like to over-engineer stuff. I don't like to, rack my brain or, about if something is going to be able to bear the weight. I rather have more than not enough. So that's basically how I did it. Now, normally I wait until the end of the presentation for any questions, but if the gentleman is out there and he has something he wants to input, you can type your question in the comment and I'll respond to it. And that goes for anyone else out there. I noticed also that you had a question concerning the spoil board. As you know, my machine I think is a little bit different from yours. If I understand, you did not get the machine with a setup for vacuum hold down. I would say to anyone buying a machine like this, if you can afford it, I never encourage somebody to go beyond their means, but if you could swing it, you want the vacuum table, in my opinion. You want the vacuum table. If you could swing that extra, I think it was like $1,200 or whatever it was, But then it's, let's say about $2,400 because you got to buy the vacuum itself too. I know that's an additional cost, but if you could swing that extra $3,000, if you could swing that, I think it's worth having a vacuum hold down. But with that said, if you can't do it and your machine is already ready and you can't get it, that ship has sailed. If your top is MDF and it's not phenolic, see, I would like to know if your machine has any miter slots in it already. The miter bars, what you call them, the aluminum channels in it, because that would be your method for holding something down on there. You could use clamps. They sell clamps and so forth. That's not my experience. I can't give you a whole lot of information on it. Another method I know people use out there on top of spoil boards is, and by the way, this is not a spoil board. This is the finished machine surface. And the difference between that and a spoil board is in the name spoil board. Let me switch over to a spoil board to show you. This one. Okay, here it is. That MDF that is on top of my phenolic table is a spoil board. The spoil board in this situation for me has two functions. One would apply to your situation. If you reference your cut from the machine surface, you cut into it a slight bit, like a thousandth of an inch. And you do not want to be cutting into your machine table. So the spoil board is there so that you can cut into it a little bit and it's replaceable. And it's cheaply replaceable. Like this piece of MDF, even if I was to buy a whole sheet of it, worst case scenario, $100, but it shouldn't even cost you that. But worst case scenario, $100 versus if I damage the CNC machine tabletop, the phenolic top, that's more like $1,200 to replace. So that's the reason for the spoil board. The word spoil isn't there. You can spoil it, you can mess it up, and you could cheaply replace it. So it's there to protect your machine surface. The second reason for it, in my case, this is a special type of MDF. You could do it with any MDF, but this one, it's especially designed for it. It's more porous than standard MDF, and that's for me to pull a vacuum through it to hold parts on top of the CNC machine. So that's the double roll on my machine. In your machine, you could use painter's tape with, what you call that, fast PA glue? Not PA glue, sorry. Is PA glue? That's super glue. CA glue, sorry. See, standard glue is PA glue. CA glue, there's a trick. You can look it up on the internet where you put painter's tape on your workpiece and painter's tape on your spoil board, and you could put CA glue in between them, and that creates a strong enough bond to where you can machine through your material without having to worry about it moving. So that's one method. There's also another method where they sell these plastic nails that work in a pneumatic gun, that you could shoot these plastic nail into your oversized workpiece in strategic areas to hold it in place on the spoil board. But once again, if you could swing it and it's still time, your machine haven't shipped yet and they're willing to do it, I highly recommend the vacuum table with the vacuum. There you can see my machine has 1, 2, 3 zones. Every time, every place you see that shower drain looking thing, and that's literally what it is, by the way, that's an opening for a port, for a zone. And that grid is what distributes the air in that particular zone to hold the material down. And in the case of my spoil board, as I explained, it actually pulls air through it to hold parts, even with the MDF spoil board on top. Spoil board again. And with in either case, when you get a spoil board, you want to do something called a fly cut when you run a program. And if you have any questions concerning that, you can reach out to me and I'll give you some advice on that, where you want to get a surfacing bit to level out that MDF top once you have it attached to your CNC. Any questions concerning that or anything that I've shown? I'll show you a little bit of a close-up on the wheels that I got. You can see these are very heavy duty. This is what they call the stem, and it's 3/4. You can see how stout that is. And this is the locking mechanism for the wheel so that it doesn't move. So I'm not using these right now, but I keep them around for the day I have to move my machine, and that day will come because at some point I will be in a larger location. Same thing with these bad boys. So I keep them up in my attic for when I need to move them again. Need to move the machine again. And it worked out like a charm for me. That's the main presentation. And as usual, thank you for watching the video. And be safe in the shop. This point going forward, y'all know the story. This is the question and answer part. So if you were shy before, please don't be shy. Ask any question you want to ask concerning the presentation or any questions you may have concerning the CNC machine. Why this thing doesn't show up? I need to look into that. Don't be shy, guys. I'll give it about a minute or so. If I don't see any questions, we'll just close it out. I assume that everybody's good on what I had to say. Give you a little bit of update. I am not gonna have a show next week. Next Tuesday. We're gonna skip next Tuesday. I'm gonna be back the following Tuesday. Also, I did get the new computer. I don't remember if I think I did mention that last week. We have the new computer, so I'm not having problems with drop frames like the issues we was having before. And I still have one issue that I thought my new setup was going to resolve, and I was disappointed in that it did not resolve it. I found out that I could only record the whole feed in 4K or I could present everything in 4K, all feeds in 4K, but I could only record the main, how would I say, composite feed in 4K. I can't record the separate cameras individually in 4K. Very disappointed with that, but I think I found a workaround, and as usual, it's going to cost me more money. It's like, I don't know, it's never ending. Every time I think I spend the money to solve a problem, it's like I'm chasing problems. So when I get back, I'm gonna place the order to get the additional components that are gonna allow me to at least record the two separate my front and above feeds. These two feeds, the one you're seeing now and this one, I'll be able to record those independently in 4K while streaming. But my new feed, this one, that's not going to be in 4K. But I'm thinking about a workaround for that. But we'll see. But for now, it's not going to be in 4K. If you're just joining in, if you have any question concerning how I went about moving the CNC machine into the garage, or anything concerning the spoil board, or anything along that nature, feel free to put a comment. Two days? They don't give 2 days. Oh boy. It was a 1 day training, and I supposedly still have time on the docket. I don't know if they're going to honor it or not, but my 4 hour was less than an hour, and I kind of felt like I was rushed off the phone. It was over the phone. But anyway, no, it's not going to be enough. You're going to have to do some additional legwork. I'll put your comment up on the screen. If they do in 2 days, that's a new thing. But I will say this though, I have called in with questions twice, and they not called in, sorry, emailed, and they've responded to me. The gentleman that reached out to me concerning his experience, I'm starting to notice a little bit of a pattern, and I think I'm on because I'm in the same state. I'm literally like an hour away, hour and a half maybe away from Cam Master. I think I'm gonna offer a service where somebody want me to act on their benefit. I could go out there during the process of the machine being built and make sure everything, basically look out for your interests. And my service for doing that, I'll do it like twice during the, I think the 12 or 15 week, whatever they tell you it takes for the machine to be built. I'll go out there twice. We can negotiate that. I'll go out there twice and look out for your interests. And what I'll do is I'll charge like 5% of whatever the machine costs for me driving out there and looking out for your interests. Because I know how difficult that could be. You in another state and you're trying to reach out to people and they're not responding to you and you don't know what's going on with your machine and so forth. And also, too, I'll work out something where I can give you a little bit of an initiation because I've already gone through the whole process, especially if you have a machine similar to mine. So, anybody out there interested in that, let me know how you feel about that. And that's something, of course, you would have to explain to them up front before you give them any money because you have all the power in this. You will have to say that I want Michael to be able to go out and check on my machine for me as a requirement for you signing that contract and giving a deposit. I know they're going to hate that, but that's on them. I think they have a great product. I don't know. I think it's more of a management problem, the issues that they do have. Any other questions? See anybody's on there. So we have 5 people. Okay. I don't like talking to myself. I'll stay on a little bit more. Anything you wanted to see about these jacks are pretty, I think, well, I can't say that because I wasn't very familiar with them until I got them myself. But it's a very simple mechanical device. It's made up of 2 parts. And I don't remember the price. I got them on Amazon, but they wasn't overly expensive. These is like these about like $22, $25 a piece. So it's about $100 for the set of 4. And it's a similar concept for the, I'll tell you what, I don't have to guess. Why am I guessing? Let me see. The casters were, come on, I'm going blind in my old age. Where's the price? Oh, it's not on this. Okay. Well, the casters, it was like $100 for the 4 casters. And the feet for the CNC machine. Oh, so it's the other way around. I think the casters, the shipping charge. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. The total on this was like about $120. And I want to say this was the same thing too after the shipping. So they're about the same price. They're about $25 a piece for the feet and for the wheels. So figure about $200 between the wheels and the feet for your machine. And I do recommend that you get the feet. Oh, I see what you're talking about now. That's independent of the free training they give you as part of purchasing the machine. I see what you're talking about now. Yes. I don't think it depends. If you're someone that but even with me, I have a CAD background, 3D and 2D. The CAM software, Vectrix, is very similar to most CAD program. The only thing that's new to me is like feeds and speeds and all of that. But the main thing with the machine is getting over fear. That was my biggest issue, being afraid of breaking the machine. I'm still afraid of breaking the machine, but that's the biggest issue. But I don't know about 2 days. 2 days you probably can get the fundamentals, but you're gonna have to do a lot of legwork yourself. if you reach out, if reach out to me, if you plan to get a machine like this and you want to learn vet tricks, reach out to me. I'll turn you on to something. Will do. Will do. Great. Okay, I think I'm speaking to the actual gentleman right now. Okay. Okay, it's $3,500. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you can't swing it, you can't swing it. I get it. But I think the vacuum table is worth it. What you're gonna be using it? What type of woodworking do you do? Let me know what type of woodworking that you do. If you build cabinets, you definitely is worth it. For smaller parts, it's still worth it too, but you will have to do a little bit more. They sell gasketing. I could turn you on to a company that sells gasketing that makes the vacuum more efficient for smaller parts. Okay, you're a hobbyist. Um, if they're willing to do it and you can afford it, that's a key word. I'm not going to push anybody into spending more money than they can afford. I understand it's a very expensive machine. But I'm going to be honest with you. With the price level that you at right now, $3,500, I would do. I would make it. I'm telling you right now, it's going to make your life so much easier. Okay, well, you got epoxy table. Okay, so I'm guess 4x8 machine at least. If you're doing a epoxy table, I'm guessing you have a four. You getting a 4x8 machine. If you're getting a 4x8 machine, and there's still time, that's why you said 3,500. Because you probably, I got the cyclone. I think the hurricane is the bigger vacuum. So you probably would be getting the larger vacuum. Hold on. Or 4x4. Okay. So it'll be about it's the same machine as mine. So 4x4. Okay. I don't know. As a hobbyist, that that would be up to you. As a hobbyist, there's other ways you could accomplish it, but it's going to require some work from you, and you can do it on your CNC machine. I'm going to try it back up real quick. You see this grid pattern for the main table? You can create that in some, you call that particle board sheet of, I think, melamine. You can create that grid pattern in melamine with a hole inside of it that allows air to come up through. No, I'm forgetting. Sorry. You do not have a vacuum hold down, so yours will be done differently. You'll have a hole if you're doing small parts. Get this out of here. If you're doing small parts, you can make a grid pattern like you saw on the top of the machine in melamine, but you have to make a perpendicular hole that comes out somewhere, side, front, whatever, to that you could hook up to one of these newer type compressors that allows you to use the compressor basically in reverse, where it sucks air on the you connect it on the outlet rather than the intake, and you could get gasketing, and that could create a hold down. You'll have to do it on both sides because you want it to hold down on top of the machine, and you want to be able to hold down parts on top of it. So that's one way, and that you could either buy a dedicated pump for that, and if I remember, please reach out to me. Try to remember Joe Woodworking. Joe Woodworking, in case I forget. Or at least remind me, reach out to me and remind me that you want to find out about an alternative you could use for holding down stuff on your CNC machine using vacuum. If you're familiar with the Festool jig that uses vacuum to hold parts down, think along that line. That's what this does. But you could use a compressor, or there's a dedicated pump you can get for it. And it's actually cheaper, considerably cheaper than the route that I took. Yeah, you're gonna need a forklift for that of some sort. My situation was different. I went to pick up my machine with a tow truck driver, and I had them load my machine on the back of a tow truck. And a tow truck driver followed me home, and he just tilted back and slid the machine off of the back of the tow truck. I didn't have mine delivered by freight, so that's gonna be. I don't know what you might want to do a search on YouTube and watching guys getting CNC machines delivered. Cause most people is gonna have it delivered by freight, which gonna be on the back of a container truck. I don't have experience in that. Yeah, but that's gonna be an issue for you. You might need you definitely gonna need a forklift of some sort. Now, if it's not coming directly to your house, Rick is right. But another way I just pop into my head, if the machine is not coming directly to your house, you might want to consider, let's say it's coming to some like freight place prior to coming to your house. Because sometimes people have I've had large item delivered to me that way, where you can have a tow truck go out there, and the people at the freight company load it from out of the container onto the back of a tow truck and have it delivered. And a tow truck is just a couple $100 at the most for them to bring it to your house. Well, of course, depending on how far you live from where your machine comes in. Yes. Okay. Well, in that case, get a tow truck driver to go pick up your machines for you. Then it's easy. The tow truck driver meets you out there. They load it from out of the container onto the tow truck, and have the tow truck take you to your house. And then the tow truck, once again, is easy. I mean, I watched the guy; it was beautiful. He just tilted, and the machine slowly, in its crate, slowly slid off the back. It was perfect. So that would be the solution for you. Get a tow truck driver to meet meet you out there at the location where the machine is delivered. You're welcome. Any other questions? Also, sir, if you go back and watch the video, I explained how I use these jacks. And you're gonna use a car jack to lift one end up at a time and put a set of these on one side, lower the jack on top of it, and then go to the other side, pump it up with a car jack, and same thing again. Install the wheels that I show here, and I'll leave the information later on. By tomorrow, it'll be in the description of the video. You put the wheels on, but you're only gonna use, you could do whatever you want, but I recommend that you don't leave it on wheels. You only use the wheels to move it, to get it from out of your driveway or off of the street into your garage. And once you get it into your garage, you're gonna do everything in reverse to get, you're gonna take the wheels off, and you're gonna take the wheels off and you're gonna install these, of course. And then you're gonna do everything in reverse to put it back down on the floor. And I highly recommend these. That's what's on my machine. And in my opinion, every machine that leaves CamMaster should have these on it. I don't understand why they don't come with it. But that's just my humble opinion. Maybe one day they will start including them. I know with their higher tier machines, they come with them. But I'm just saying, for $100 and something, and even if they mark it up, even if they sold it for $250 or $300, or just include it in the price. I saw that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand how people make decisions. Every one of the machines should have those. How we do it? If there's no more questions, well, I'll stay for a little bit more. But if there's no more questions, I'll close out for the evening. And again, I'm not gonna be on next week. Yes, and it does. These do have pads underneath them, and it does. It helps a lot. And what I like about the ones that I chose, it has 15 degree of freedom. So in the case of my situation and the gentleman's situation, where our CNC machines are going into garage, it's perfect for that. No, um, no, I don't. But what I do, what I do, what I do is I have the CNC machine connected to the dock, the first split from the machine is a CNC machine, and I have the ability to bypass all the other zones. So when I'm using a CNC machine, The dust collector is fully dedicated to the CNC machine. You're welcome, sir, and thank you for watching. And by the way, I haven't abandoned making videos in the other style. Is that I want to get comfortable doing it this way before I go back to my old way. My old way I'm comfortable with, and this is a new experience for me. And I want to get good at it before I go back to doing it the old way, so that I can do it both ways. So in the future, you'll be getting the content. Sometime I'll go live. Sometime it will just be a regular video. But I'm spending a lot of time on this in the beginning because I'm not good at it yet. Yes, it is. The vacuum hold down is the loudest thing in the shop. I can't think of anything in the shop that's louder than it. Okay, it goes in this order. The vacuum hold down, then the dust collector. That's the two loudest thing. The vacuum hold down is even louder, in my opinion, than the dust collector. You're welcome, sir. Anyway, guys, have a great evening. Thanks for watching. And again, I'm not gonna be live next week. I'll be back the week after. Enjoy. Be safe in the shop.